Everything is fine. Things are fine. We're fine. There's my crotch. Sorry about that. Is in your face.
Nice to meet you.
Is this okay? Is this okay?
I love you.
Mom, where are you?
You're already making me laugh so hard that I'm crying.
I'm having issues, man.
I love that I got to meet your crotch before I got to meet
Yes, there she is. All 20 pounds of her.
I was just talking to a friend and saying my boobs have grown a ton in quarantine. Like they started off like a healthy like double D. Now we're in F territory. I don't know what's going on.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not lying. They're growing.
That's how big your boobs are, though?
They're huge. Yes.
They're an F?
A lot of situation.
Wow, good for you. I'm here. Sorry.
We're not going to actually talk. We're just going to sit here laughing.
You're going to watch me struggle till I die. Okay, cool. Welcome,
right, cool.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Potty Talk, everyone. The only talk show where we have to hide in the bathroom. Sorry, I am laughing so hard that I am crying. We have to hide in the bathroom to get 1 second of peace. My guest today is the amazing Tiffany Jenkins from Juggling the Jenkins. She is a massive viral video star with 4 million followers on Facebook, something crazy. Millions and millions and millions.
4.4 million. Thank you.
4.4.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, didn't mean to underestimate you there. And billions of views. You're an author. You're a speaker. I love that about you. You're so inspirational and you're a recovering addict. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I really appreciate it. You made me sound really good in that intro, and I'm going with it, but I don't know that it's true. I don't know what I'm doing in life, but good things keep happening.
None of us do. Honestly, none of us do. But if you'd like, I'll walk around with you every day, and anytime you have to meet someone, I'll be like, here's Tiffany.
Yes, that would be great. If you could do like an intro, I would love that. She's a massive star with billions of views. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds really good.
It is true. And I'm so excited to hide in the bathroom with you.
Yeah,
You've already made me laugh so hard.
Thanks for being a good sport about it. I was having some issues, to put it lightly. And now if I look shiny, it's because I'm sweating. I'm stress sweating.
I have issues constantly, so I can relate. My whole life is issues.
Same.
Let's be honest. We just turn on the camera and show everyone. So
yes, and as everyone should. I think it helps other people realize that like they aren't as messed up as they think they are. We all are, you know?
Yeah, when they see a train wreck on the internet, like, well, I'll say like me. I'm not going to say like
rude. Okay. No, it's so true. Did you see me trying to get in here to do this?
Well, we met your crotch.
Yeah. I just almost lit it on fire and was like, forget it, and just walked out. You would have had flames. You would have been interviewing flames, and I'm like in the background. Sorry. You might have to edit that. I didn't mean the double fingers. Sorry. Maybe we should do a group. Let's do a group deep breath and just recenter. Okay.
This is what I do with my kids. Oh.
Does it work?
No, hell no.
Oh, dang it. Should try.
So I love you because you're so hilarious, but you also are so real and raw and honest. And I think that's like an incredible part of you. And I wanted to see if you could take a moment to talk to us about your journey. You went from being addicted to drugs to being this superstar who has Dava introducing you all over the world.
Yes, it was crazy because I was addicted to drugs for over 10 years. And it was such a dark time. I never thought that I would be anything. Like I thought that I was born by mistake and that I wasn't ever going to grow up and be an adult. I didn't think that it was possible to live a life without drugs. And the worst moment of my my life ended up being the springboard, I guess, into my new life. I was arrested and charged with so many felonies because I'd been stealing from people and lying and hiding who I was. And when the truth came out, there was nothing left to hide. And it was very freeing in a way. And I knew that I had to get help for myself. I had tried over and over again to get clean on my own, and I couldn't do it. So I made the decision to go to rehab. And that's when everything changed. I learned why I did the things I did. I learned how to live a life without drugs. And I slowly stepped back out into reality with the help of other people who were clean and knew the way and could show me. And that's when my life actually began. And then I just immediately started popping babies out at the halfway house. I got pregnant in a halfway house.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a guy down the street, super cute boy in a halfway house down the street. I was like, this can't go wrong. Let's do that. And so he knocked me up when I had 10 months clean, and I was super scared, but I knew that I wanted this. And so we both worked really hard. We ended up getting hitched, and we got a place, and we had my son. And then my daughter was born 16 months after my son, and my stepdaughter came to live with us full time 2 weeks after my daughter was born. And so boom, I'm a married mom of three. Yeah. And that was when I was like, okay, I'm drowning. I need some help. And I would look online, and everybody looked so good, and they had their lives together, and their house was so fancy, and their hair was brushed. And I was like, I'm failing. I kept comparing myself. And that really inspired me to start making videos looking like a swamp demon. And so I did. And people were like, dude, thank you. Because I was feeling pretty bad about myself, but I'm glad I'm not alone. And that's how all this started.
Yeah, that is the most beautiful part, I think, of making content on the internet and relatable content, is hearing from other moms who relate to you and who are like, thank you for not showing this fake curated version of motherhood that is splashed everywhere. And it's horrible. It just makes us all feel like
Yeah. And that's what keeps me going, honestly, because first of all, it helps me. For the first time in my life, I realized I wasn't alone. I wasn't failing, that everybody else was just showing the highlights. And so it helped me in that way. And it also, there's still days where I don't want to get out of bed, and my mental health is like, you're a loser. Let's just lay here. Life is too hard. But then, I remember that there's people out there who are getting something from my experience somehow. So I have to get up out of bed. I have to keep going, because it's not about me. It's about, helping other people. I feel like that's the whole point of the world, is, making it a better place by helping others. And so it keeps me going a lot of days.
I love that. Yeah, I struggle with, I have generalized anxiety disorder.
Oh, twinsies.
Same. And it is a struggle. It's an ongoing struggle. And I feel like the older I get, the wiser I get, the more I'm able to kind of handle it. But sometimes, man, it just knocks me sideways.
Yeah. Do you ever get intrusive thoughts? Okay, for example, when your kid, how old are your kids?
My kids are 10 and 14. I'm new at saying that because she just turned 14.
Aww. So okay, when they were little and you would take them to the park, did your anxiety manifest itself back then? Were you scared of everything? I feel like I'm ruining my kids' childhood, because instead of letting them enjoy, I'm trying to save them from these invisible disasters. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Was
yes,
it ever like that?
Yes. I actually just got ripped to shreds on the internet by people who accused me of taking my anxiety and laying it on my kids, and that my kids would be happier, healthier people if I wasn't so anxious and such a disaster, which is true. I banned them all from my page because I couldn't face the truth.
Right. I get it. It's so hard to hear it. And it's you probably knew that. You already know. I know it. I'm definitely spreading my anxiety to my children. And I wish I couldn't, but the truth is, I wish more than anything, I didn't feel this way. I wish I knew how to curb it, but it's so hard, which is why I'm seeing a therapist and a doctor, and I'm trying to get help. I think there's a way to say things when you're getting ready to type something down on the internet think to yourself, is this person probably aware of it? Is my comment going to contribute to the world in a positive way, or am I just being an a-hole? And,
Right.
and then go forward with it from there. But there are people who don't know how to say things. And my mom used to say that all the time. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it used to annoy me, but it's so true. A private message saying, hey, from experience, just so you know, I'm a doctor and there's a chance you could be spreading this to your children. I just want to let you know, here's some tips how not to do that. Instead of, you're going to ruin your kids, idiot.
Judgmental jerks. Yeah, it's my kids used to not be afraid of flying at all when they were little. I'm terrified of flying. If you sit next to me, I will warn you ahead of time. Hi, I'm Dava. I'm terrified of flying. I may grab you or sit in your lap during this flight. But I scream a lot. So if there's any turbulence, I'll just go, ah! And my kids now are terrified. And my husband's like, what did you do to them? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Like actual screams?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's not funny. I'm not laughing.
I also scream at pigeons.
What?
Yes. If there are pigeons near me, I will start screaming too. I've screamed in restaurants when pigeons are there.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
terrified of everything.
I'm surprised you haven't ended up in one of those like viral videos, like crazy lady on plane, and they just have the camera on you from the next seat over and you're just screaming and sitting on that person's lap next to you.
Someone did steal a photo of me screaming and used it. Crazy anti-vax woman goes like some, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I hate flying too. And you know what it is for me? Like when I was in active, this is going to get dark for a second, but then it'll get light again. When I was in active addiction, I wanted to die. I was so broken that I like prayed for death and I would hope every single day to die. But now that like I've gotten past that into this amazing part of my life that involves children and a husband and a community of people, it's my biggest fear. Like I don't want to go right now. And so my anxiety tells me that in order to prevent that, I have to make sure that every single moment of every day, my family is safe, which is why a simple family bike ride should be a simple family bike ride. But instead, you've got me like a weird commentator. Watch out for cars pulling out of driveway. Slow down. Don't lean to the left. You're going to fall over. Honey, watch it. Like I can't even, I'm ruining it for them.
That's me
and
too.
me. Is it?
And we've been biking a lot and I've been screaming, get to the right, get to the right.
Yeah. I hate it and it makes me sad and I'm aware of it and I'm working on changing it and fixing it. I'm working really hard actually. But it affects everything. Our brains are so weird.
They are so weird. But I have to say, there's that. But then there's also your children seeing this incredible, strong woman who went through what you went through and now look at where you are. And so, yeah. You might give them a little anxiety, but look at the life you have shown them as possible. I mean, that's amazing. I could cry. It's amazing.
Aw, thanks. That's really nice. I appreciate that. And my kids are 4 and 5 and I have a 9-year-old bonus daughter, but when my kids are old enough, I'm going to be upfront and honest with them. Just like, hey, your mom grew up in Sarasota. She went to Sarasota High School. She's a drug addict. Like not to scare them, but to let them know there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't overcome. I know you're upset about this heartbreak. I was heartbroken too when I was in jail and suicide watch with no glasses and I'm okay now. So pipe up, you know what I mean? I'm probably going to use that. But yeah, my kids are everything, man. They drive me insane, but I can't imagine taking one breath without them. They're so integral. Integral? Is that the word?
I think that's a word.
It feels weird when you say it, though.
Yeah, all words feel weird. My kids and I decided that all words feel weird. If you really say them, they all sound weird. Bed. Isn't that weird? That's a weird word.
Which one?
Bed. I don't know.
Bed. If you say it enough, it starts to and look weird when you're trying to write a word. Sometimes I stare at my name and I'm like, is this it? Is this how you spell it? Why are there so many F's? I don't know what I'm talking about.
So on every episode of Potty Talk, I ask the guests the same 7 questions.
Sorry, I've been talking the whole time. We haven't even gotten to your questions. I'm sorry.
No, I love that. That was the intro. At first, it started with the crotch.
Yeah. Welcome.
Okay, first question. What do you miss most about your pre-kids life?
Oh, I miss like nothing, but if I, I'd say probably just not having to buckle and unbuckle a million times. Like I miss just listening to rap music and getting in and out of the car.
Yeah, not taking a half an hour to get in and out of the car.
Yeah, it's JoJo Siwa or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on repeat and then you have to buckle and unbuckle and I'm hot, I'm cold. He's touching me. She has the toy and I want it. And it's like I can't just chill anymore. But yeah, and sleep, just being able to be still and endlessly like scroll was nice without being interrupted.
Yeah. I don't remember those days very much, but they did happen, right?
Well, your kids are older too, and phones, I think, well, not that I'm saying phones weren't out when you didn't have kids.
They weren't. I remember waiting in line to buy my husband an iPhone, pregnant with my son.
Really?
Yeah. I'm ancient, Tiffany.
No way. Were you a model when you were younger, by the way?
I did a little bit when I was really young.
I thought so. You just have the cutest face ever. And I saw some pictures of you and I was like, I wonder if she modeled.
Oh, thank you. I do remember I must have been in about 10th or 11th grade, and I had gone to see a modeling agency, and she said to me, we'd really love to work with you, but we're not sure what to do about that nose.
Ew. I would have blown a snot rocket right there and been like, I know what to do with this nose, Cheryl.
I know what to do. Yeah, I got that a lot. I auditioned once for a TV show, and I was at producers. You go to your first audition, then you go to producers, and the producers were in the room, and one of them said, "Oh, she's really funny." And the other guy said, "Yeah, but the part's supposed to be a model, and she's just not pretty enough." And I'm like, I'm standing here, still in the room.
Gosh, I couldn't take it.
Well, that's why I love the internet. We can just do whatever we want. It doesn't matter. No one can tell us no.
That they can, but we'll block them.
I love you.
So.
Okay, what is the worst piece of parenting advice you've ever received?
That babies should. I'm thinking of a specific person in my life. I'm not going to name names, but this is a stupid example. I'm just going with the first thought that pops in my head for these questions. I used to get like lectured about not having shoes on my baby when we went to the grocery store and stuff. And I'm like, my kid can't walk. Why does my child need shoes on? They cannot walk. I'm not doing that. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, but that was probably the first thing that popped in my head is that my baby needed shoes when they couldn't walk. I'll put my kid in socks and let him go barefoot. I don't care. You don't walk on your feet.
Yeah, well, some people believe that if they don't have shoes and socks on, some people, meaning my mother, that they'll get colds, they'll get sick, they'll get the flu.
Yeah, I think that was what this person thought as well, which is, I have a blanket over them. It's fine. But yeah, I don't remember any parenting advice. I was really good at not taking it. Because how could anybody else know about my kid? You know what I mean? Every kid is different. And the advice I always give people is don't take anybody's advice. Like find one trusted family member that you respect and look up to and ask them your questions, or a doctor, because everybody thinks they know everything about everything. And that was so tough for me. You put something in Google or in a mom group and you get a million answers. So I just followed my heart and tried my best, and my kids are great.
That's awesome. Well, they might be great, but what's the meanest thing one of them has ever said or done to you?
Oh my gosh. Every day. They're my probably the usual, like, I don't like you, mommy, trying to hurt my feelings and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's okay. I will always love you. And they're like, but my daughter, Chloe, okay, she's 4. She will straight up punch me in the face and then be like, sorry, mommy, I love you. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. You're so cute. I don't care. Punch me again. I love you.
It is a good thing they're cute, because otherwise, oof.
Yeah, they're at the age now where they don't really know how to be mean. They'll say things like, "Mommy, your tummy is squishy like Jello," and I'm like, "Okay."
My son was like, Mom, you look like you're like 20. And I'm like, oh, and he's like 1,000 years old.
That took a turn. That's funny.
Okay, what is your biggest parenting mistake?
Singular incident?
Sure, or general. Yeah, I mean, I'm screwing up every day over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure I make lots of mistakes. Well, I probably can't even talk about it because I don't know who's watching this and who's around. But the other day, let's see if I can put this. There's something that's supposed to come out one time a year. It's a parenting tool that inspires my children to behave certain ways because this parenting tool will report back to someone.
Does he wear red?
Yes. And he sits in your house.
He's best friends with a guy with a beard, a white beard.
Yes. Literally 2 nights ago, my kid was like, "Do you have any of my socks?" And I'm like, "I don't know, look in there." Then I'm like, "Wait a minute, actually don't look in there because I have a surprise for you in there that you can't see." And she just stared at me. And I was like, "What do you think it is?" Like, she thought I was interested because her face was so weird. And then just 0 to 100, instant tears, like breakdown. And I'm like, "What just happened?" She's like, "I already know. I saw it the day before yesterday." And yeah. And I was like, "What? Why didn't you tell me?" And she was just devastated. Like, she was keeping this in for 2 days. And so we had a meeting and I'm like, "What do you think this means?" She said, "I think it means the beard friend is not a thing." And I'm like, "What? No, and then we had to have a heart to heart. But then I had to go and tell her mom, I messed up. Sorry about this, because I'm her stepmom. And so I had to then call her mom and be like, "Just so you know, she knows now.
You're welcome.
Sorry." And she's like, "Oh, it's okay. When you said she found something in the drawer, I thought you were talking about something that vibrates." And I was like, "Oh, that would have been easier to explain probably."
Well, I actually had to make that phone call once we went, it was my daughter's 10th birthday. We went to the aquarium with a few of her friends, and there were 2 very, very friendly penguins. And they were, making baby penguins. And the little kids they had their faces pressed up to the glass watching these penguins going at it. And one of the girls was like, "What are they doing?" And one of the other girls was the daughter of doctors. So she took her little map of the aquarium, rolled it up and said, "Let me show you what they're doing." So then I had to call the mom of the one little innocent girl and say, "Have you guys had the talk yet?" And she said, "No, why?" And I said, "Well, she knows everything now. You're welcome."
Oh my goodness. Was she upset?
She said, "It's always something with you, Dalportos."
No, she didn't.
Which is
Was
true.
she joking?
Yeah.
Oh,
hope.
Oh my gosh. I was
I
like,
hope, probably not.
What kind of reputation? That's so funny.
Okay, describe parenting in one word.
Oh my gosh. These questions are so different than anything I'm usually asked.
This is like the SAT.
Challenging? But it's like if I'm going to create a new word, it's like challenge-ording, which is a combination of challenging and rewarding because it's a challenge, but the reward is so great. And so I describe it as challenge-ording.
That's the best word for parenting I've ever heard. Okay, what is your proudest parenting moment?
Gosh.
Tiffany's melting.
I don't know if I have one. Oh, no. I don't know if I've ever been proud of anything that I've done. I feel like if anything good happens, it's like by sheer luck. I don't have an answer. What are you proud of? What? This is hard.
Someone's slamming doors in my house. I'm proud that I'm not going to go kill the people in my family right now.
I didn't hear it.
I know, Tiffany, someone needs to ask me these questions myself because I wrote the questions and I ask everyone, but I don't have to answer them.
Really? Okay. So if you had to name one, would you be able to?
My proudest parenting moment? Whew. I think anytime I don't lose my shit when I feel like I need to and I want to and I'm going to, and I actually manage to hold it together.
Yes.
I'm
That's
pretty
an
proud.
amazing answer. That's, you know what? And that just sparked a new, way better answer in me. And you're right. When there are times where you want to scream and freak out and punish your kid, but then you remember like that article you read online and it's like how getting down on their level and talking like an adult makes a difference. And then you tell yourself that and you put all your feelings and emotions and rage into some weird box in the back of your brain and you get down on their level and you're like, I love you. You're stressing me the F out, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are, I am proud of myself in those moments. And I was like, I'm always like, I wonder if my mom saw that from heaven. She'd be probably proud of me the way I handled that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
I
think
love
about that all the
that.
time.
Yeah, we just box it up and then we take it out on our husbands later. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes. Where were you?
Okay, last question. What is your best piece of parenting advice?
My best piece of parenting. You know what? I kind of already said that the advice I give everybody is don't listen to parenting advice. But I will say, I want to say something that changed my life in the beginning. If you're like, well, I don't know. Never mind. If you're a new mom, for new moms, is that what we're talking about or in general?
Anyone.
I'm sorry, I'm an overthinker. I need to know every single angle of the question, where it originated from, what language.
English.
When I was a young mom, I used to be so resentful against my husband because I felt like he didn't spend enough time with the kids. I was the only one waking up, feeding, changing, taking care of the kids. And somebody said, do you let him be a dad? And I was like, what does that even mean? And they said, you have to let him be a dad. If you're over his shoulder correcting every move, he's not going to want to touch the kids or be around the kids. And I realized that I'm like, you never change the baby's diaper. But then when he does, I'm like, nope, not like that. You got to pull it tighter. He doesn't like it when you put it on that way. And then I realized, like, no wonder. It's like if a manager was over your shoulder at work dictating every single move you did, you're not going to want to do it. And so that would be my advice is, as much as you want to control everything, try to release a little bit of it and let other people help you.
I can relate to that so much. And even as the kids are getting older and trying to get them to chip in and do chores, and then I'm like watching them like bang the pots and I'm like, that's not how you do it.
Absolutely. So that would be my answer. And follow your heart. Don't listen to anybody's advice if it doesn't feel right. Talk to somebody you trust and respect.
I love that. And I love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
This was so fun.
It was a challenge. Listen, in a good way. I get asked a lot of the same questions. So I have kind of like a Rolodex, which makes me sound fancy and smart. And I realized today that when I get a curveball, I'm like that's literally what I did when I couldn't think of an answer. So that's good to know that I need to work on, my face when, and
that's one of my favorite expressions of yours. Can you do it again?
Yeah. Sorry, it's a weird day. I don't even know what year it is.
Well, I haven't known a day of the week in about a decade. So Tiffany, tell everyone where they can find you and join your 4.4 million friends.
Thank you. Just jugglingthejenkins.com. That'll take you anywhere you need to go, or just Google Juggling the Jenkins. I'm around. You'll find me. Does that sound like presumptuous? You'll find me because I'm everywhere and I'm easy to. That's not what I meant. I just meant like I'll pop up sooner or later.
You meant if you Google my name, then
Yeah.
you'll find me.
I'll be around. Yeah.
This was so awesome. I don't even want to get off with you because you're so fun to hang out with.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
Let's do it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. Bye.
Come bye.